Welcome, and on behalf of the faculty and staff of the College of Engineering, I thank you for participating in the Induction into the Profession ceremony. I'm Robert Bishop, Dean of the College of Engineering. I am pleased that so many women and men are interested in the engineering profession and computer science and technology careers. Today's ceremony is a recorded event. I will induct you into either the Order of the Engineer or the Pledge of the Computing Professional. At the end of the video, all graduating students will be shown on screen. This video will stay posted to the college's YouTube page for future viewing. Before we get started, I want to thank the USF Engineering Alumni Association and engineering alumni Mr. Robert Higgins and Mr. Christopher Dennis for sponsoring today's event by purchasing the rings and pins. Thank you for your generosity. Now, let's proceed to the induction of our graduates into their chosen professions. The engineering graduates will be inducted into the professional organization, the Order of the Engineer, which was established in 1953. As part of the ceremony, they will receive a steel ring for the little finger of their working hand and be required to sign the obligation of the engineer. The computer science, cybersecurity, and information technology graduates will be inducted into the Pledge of the Computing Professional. As part of the ceremony, they will receive a lapel pin and be required to sign the Pledge of the Computing Professional. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Michael Kai Wang, Assistant Professor in Mechanical Engineering. Dr. Wang's research and teaching endeavors are focused on nanoscale phenomena, nanomanufacturing, and two-dimensional materials. He was presented with his iron ring during the ritual of the calling of an engineer in 2018 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He will provide us with a brief history of the Order of the Engineer.
Egyptian pyramids, Roman aqueducts, today's medical diagnostic equipment, and tomorrow's journey through the stars. A legacy of engineering wonders is threaded through the history of humankind, and each advance and accomplishment providing the foundation for and determining the future. A history of the Order of the Engineer is more than number crunching. It is a matter of life and death. In 1907, when engineering errors led to a Canadian bridge collapse that killed 75 construction workers, the profession's moral obligations were stark and obvious. Engineers increasingly realized that technical expertise was not enough, and in 1925, a group of Canadian engineers formally and publicly promised to uphold the highest ethical standards. To remind themselves of their pledge, they fashioned iron rings to be worn on the outer finger. For decades, engineers in the United States had no similar institution. Today, the stainless steel rings worn by the Order's members are recognized throughout the world as an outward sign of an inward commitment to ethical engineering. This is the story of the Order's origins and expansion. In 1953, 27 years after its Canadian inception, there was discussion within the profession about establishing the Order of the Engineer in the United States. The correspondence and committee work continued until 1970, a groundbreaking year, when seniors at Cleveland State University made rings, wrote an obligation, and had the first U.S. Order of the Engineer ceremony. The Florida Board of Governors approved and published a new Code of Regulations in 1974. The chapters are called links of the Order of Engineering, and at the University of South Florida established its link in 1989. Currently, more than 250,000 engineers in 50 states have received the steel ring to wear on the small finger of the working hand to symbolize their belief in honesty and integrity in the services they perform.
Thank you, Dr. Wang. Our next speaker is Dr. Jamie Chilton. Dr. Chilton is an instructor in the Department of Industrial and Management Systems Engineering. She has more than 13 years of experience in a variety of research, technology, business, teaching, and consulting roles in higher education and private industry, particularly in biotechnology. Her previous work in the biotech industry includes developing innovative and engineered cellular systems for disease modeling, drug discovery, and toxicity studies for clients ranging from academia and government to large biotech and pharmaceutical companies. Her research, teaching interests include engineering management, technology-based entrepreneurship, healthcare engineering, and education engineering. She will provide us with the significance of the Order of the Engineer.
The purpose of the Order of the Engineer is to foster a feeling of pride in being an engineer and to instill a dedication to ethics throughout the engineer's professional career. The order is symbolized by the acceptance of an obligation and the wearing of a stainless steel ring on the little finger of the working hand. There are no meetings other than this ceremony, and there are no dues. Students, the obligation to which you will soon subscribe is a composite of several creeds emphasizing honesty and integrity, and acknowledging the work that your predecessors have done to gain the knowledge and skills that have been passed on to you during your years of college training. This accumulation of knowledge, which has been brought this far by others, is being passed on to you to carry even farther before being passed on again to those who will be coming along behind you. The significance of what you are about to say and do might be summarized this way. I acknowledge my obligation as an engineer to bring honor to my profession. I will apply the golden rule and our code of ethics in all my professional and private dealings, and I acknowledge my obligation to be a giver to the betterment of mankind. The symbol of your desire to accept these obligations is the engineer's ring. It will indicate to all who see it that you have publicly avowed your dedication to the honorable practice of engineering and to the public that your profession serves. Congratulations, students!
Thank you, Dr. Chilton. Now I'll introduce Dr. Kenneth Christensen, Professor and Associate Chair in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Ken's research and teaching interests are in performance evaluation of computer networks. He is one of the founders and currently president of the Pledge of the Computing Professional, an organization founded in 2011 to promote and recognize the ethical and moral behavior and responsibilities of graduates of computing-related degree programs. 52 U.S. institutions are members of the Pledge. Ken also coordinates the department's Industry Partners Computing Partners program. He has more than 100 journal and conference publications and 13 U.S. patents. He is a licensed professional engineer in the state of Florida, a member of ACM and ASEE, and a senior member of IEEE. He will provide us with a brief history of the organization and explain its significance.
Before we ask the initiates here to obligate themselves to the Pledge of the Computing Professional, we pause to consider the history of and motivation for this organization. The act of joining a profession in modern society is often accompanied by a rite of passage. This rite of passage often involves the initiate pledging to act ethically and morally in the profession and receiving a visible symbol as a reminder of that pledge. In 2007, individuals at the University of South Florida and Ohio Northern University created organizations for graduates of their respective computing programs, sparking interest at other institutions. To meet the desire for a shared, wide-ranging organization similar in purpose to the Order of the Engineer, the Pledge of the Computing Professional was created by an international team of 17 computing professionals. The organization held its first induction ceremony in spring of 2011 at USF, McNeese State University, Metropolitan State College of Denver, Ohio Northern University, and Oberlin College. Through this ceremony, we foster professional pride, moral obligation, and ethical responsibility in all graduates of computing disciplines. The initiates who are present today will soon stand to take this pledge. After this ceremony, there will be no organizational meetings to attend, nor will there be any dues to be paid. However, members are expected to uphold the pledge and honor the computing profession. The certificate and the pin that each of our initiates receive will serve as visible reminders of this promise throughout their professional careers. Encoded in the pin is a key word. It is up to you to decode the pin. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Christensen. Now it's time to induct our College of Engineering graduates. Now it's time for our engineering inductees to recite the obligation of an engineer. After this, the computer science, cybersecurity, and information technology inductees will recite the oath for the Pledge of the Computing Professional. Please recite the oath on the screen along with me. I am an engineer. In my profession, I take deep pride. To it, I owe solemn obligations. Since the Stone Age, human progress has been spurred by the engineering genius. Engineers have made usable nature's vast resources of material and energy for humanity's benefit. Engineers have vitalized and turned to practical use the principles of science and the means of technology. Were it not for this heritage of accumulated experience, my efforts would be feeble. As an engineer, I pledge to practice integrity and fair dealing, tolerance and respect, and to uphold devotion to the standards and dignity of my profession, conscious always that my skill carries with it the obligation to serve humanity by making the best use of Earth's precious wealth. As an engineer, I participate in none but honest enterprises. When needed, my skill and knowledge shall be given without reservation for the public good. In the performance of duty and in fidelity to my profession, I shall give the utmost. Congratulations, you are inducted. Please have someone place the ring on the little finger of your working hand and be sure to sign your certificate. Now I will induct the computer science, cybersecurity, and information technology inductees. Please recite the oath on the screen along with me. I am a computing professional. My work as a computing professional affects people's lives, both now and into the future. As a result, I bear moral and ethical responsibilities to society. As a computing professional, I pledge to practice my profession with the highest level of integrity and competence. I shall always use my skills for the public good. I shall be honest about my limitations, continuously seeking to improve my skills through lifelong learning. I shall engage only in honorable and upstanding endeavors. By my actions, I pledge to honor my chosen profession. So congratulations, you are inducted. Please have someone place a pin on you and be sure to sign your certificate. I wish each student success in their chosen career path, be it industry, graduate school, or academia. Most importantly, your education does not end with graduation. It's only just beginning. I encourage you to stay in touch with the college and come back to campus or attend an engineering event. This ends the ceremony. On behalf of myself and the faculty and staff of the College of Engineering, congratulations. We are proud to have you join the ranks of the USF College of Engineering alumni. Please stay tuned as all the engineering graduates will now appear on the screen. Go Bulls!